welcome to the Horror Hangout podcast, where two video film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with Kate, and I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mr.
Ben Errington.
How the devil are you, Mr.
How the
Ben
devil
Errington?
are you? I'm very well, Mr. Luke Condor. How the devil are you?
Very, very good.
Very good.
What's that phrase? Like, the definition of insanity is where you keep doing the same thing and expect different results.
I think that's the phrase. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the phrase.
Well, I was like eating like a giant pizza before recording. I was burning my mouth again, like a blister on the top of my mouth, and I was like, I've done this every single time, and I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop burning my mouth on pizza.
Yeah.
So
It's just too good, isn't it? It's just too good.
Can't wait for it to cool down.
Can't wait for those few milliseconds. Actually, it takes longer than that. You can't wait. Get it in your mouth. The meat and cheese and bread and deliciousness.
Yeah, mate. I've been putting on. We got some peri Nando's sauce, dolloping that all over it, and mate, it's it's good. Something special. The amount of cheese and bread I've eaten over this past coronavirus has been.
I remember the first coronavirus. Yeah, it's been. I think I'm about the same. Yeah, I've been snacking on all the snacks. I thought I was a snack connoisseur, but since this coronavirus, I've been going snack crazy.
Wait, what's your snack of choice?
Currently, my snack of choice is like pretzel sticks.
What?
A vol-au-vent pretzel sticks. So obviously, they've got a pretzel and they've gone right straight in that one out.
What do they call them? No, there's like a Pulaski or something like that. It's like a Polish snack. Yeah.
So it is the Polish ones as well, because they're good for dipping. You can get them in the hummus.
They're good.
Get them in all the dips.
The salt. I love the big salt rocks that they have on them as well.
Yeah.
Really good.
When you get them, and at the bottom of the bag, all the salt rocks are there. I mean, that's just pure filth. Not good for you.
Yeah. No, it's not good at all. Yeah, man. How you doing? Have we got any horror news?
Again, thin on the ground for the old horror news, but we've got a couple of things. We always seem to talk about deaths on here. I don't know whether that's just me gravitating towards deaths, but
is there a horror movie without deaths?
I mean horror news.
Oh,
I'm always going, this person's died, that person's died. But Paul Haddad, the voice actor for the original voice actor for Leon in Resident Evil 2, passed away, only age 56. So pretty tragic.
Mm-hmm.
But big outcry on Twitter and the like for respecting the man. Crazy to think. It doesn't feel that long ago, does it? The original Resident Evil 2, but now stuff like this is happening. What else? Also, HBO Max has apparently ordered a TV show based on The Shining called Overlook from J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot, who have got like an iffy track record. There was a time when those names you really did used to mean something, didn't they? J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot. But I think as time's gone on,
isn't doing like some more TV shows as well? I thought there was like 3 or 4 that he...
Yeah, so I think that was kind of like there was a couple more as well though, but I don't think it's in this story.
Yeah, probably not horror related.
No.
Yeah. I mean, what we got? So 10 Cloverfield Lane. That was good. Then the other.
Right. Okay. So the other show was Justice League Dark.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be up for that.
Yeah. That sounds good. Obviously. So yeah, stuff like Castle Rock was J.J. Abrams as well, wasn't it? And I only watched a few episodes of that, but I didn't find that entirely.
It was quite frustrating, that TV show, especially the end.
Yeah, I've heard series 2 is quite good because it's got what's her name from Misery? It's younger Annie Wilkes.
Yeah.
Annie Wilkes is when she's younger. Yeah, it just all seems a bit the whole sort of like shared universe thing. I think
we talked about it before. Yeah.
Occasionally it can work, but sometimes it feels a bit, especially with the Stephen King stuff, where everything is kind of in either the same town or a very similar part of America. So
it felt like they'd got all the Stephen King references in, but without any of the Stephen King storytelling elements. Like it didn't feel like a Stephen King story at all.
Yeah.
But,
But Justice League Dark could be interesting. Obviously, not a great track record with DC shows, either being good or lasting. Obviously, as you know, with Swamp Thing. Did you see me? I tagged you recently in the Swamp Thing makeup.
Yeah,
That
it's
mask
cool,
it
isn't it?
made.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, it looks absolutely insane.
The
That's
practical
something I still need
effects
to
in
watch.
that show are great, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of our listeners, Matt, Seth Barnes, he's like a book cover designer. He said he's going to watch the first few episodes. I don't think he's going to stick with it, but I think, I think the first 2 episodes is about what you need. There's just some great moments in the first couple of episodes, especially halfway through the first one. I was kind of blown. I was kind of floored by.
Mm. And the last bit of news isn't really horror, essentially, or I guess it's horror elements, but I saw this just before we decided to start this podcast, and it was that the sequel to Venom has been delayed to June 2021, but it's got a new title, and it's called Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Have you seen the picture of Woody Harrelson as
Yeah.
Cletus Cassidy?
Yeah, but so he looks completely different to how he did in the bonus in like the additional scene at the end of Venom. He's got completely different hair now.
I've not even seen Venom, not seen it.
In the original, there's a sort of after credit scene where he's got curly hair, but in this one he's kind of got like weird.
Is he wearing
curtains,
like
right?
new metal flame, like a
Yeah.
flame bowling shirt thing?
Yeah, I mean, he looks very like obviously when Carnage was first in the comics, what was that, the late 80s, 90s, something like that?
Yeah.
So it does look like he's jumped straight off the page, but will that work? Well, maybe this title kind of suggests that this is going to be a completely over the top, ridiculous film, as Venom kind of was. But Let There Be Carnage kind of sucks. Maximum Carnage is a great title. That was the name of a run, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whenever it was a spider. Yeah, so there we go. I thought I'd just put that out there because it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I need to watch Venom. Is it good? I mean, I've heard it's. Some people say it's good. Some people say it's bad. So I don't know what to think or where to watch it.
Who's to know, mate? I don't know if I'm coming or going. Some people say it's good. Some people say it's bad.
I'll tell you what's going on in a minute. Although, what's the date today? I think we've got a few days. Is the Arrow video sale. Arrow do all of the really nice horror Blu-rays and stuff. And every now and again they do a really good sale. It's a good chance to stock up on a ton of horror and weird film classics for your collection.
You made some purchases, did you not?
I did. I just wanted to get a couple that two favorite films. So being John Malkovich, this isn't horror, but being John Malkovich just needed to be. It's got a really nice cover and it's got like a nice little. It's a 4K restoration. It's got tons of bonus content. And being John Malkovich is just one of my favorite films. And I got Dave Made a Maze, which I told you about a couple of weeks ago. That I was like, I need to have that in the collection. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, cool. Have you been watching anything? Have you watched them? Have you watched anything?
Well, let me tell you.
Oh.
We watched. We were talking about Final Destination on a podcast recently, and then we said we might follow through and watch the rest. And I think, have you watched all of them now? I've watched 2 and 3.
No. I've only watched 2 and 3.
Okay. Well, So I mean, the quality dives quite a bit from the first one, but then the deaths get better. They're way more fun. There's a lot more blood, a lot more gore, things splat. Like it's just fun to watch. I like the whole thing is like, let's introduce some things that can happen, and it's up to the viewer to try and guess, try and piece it together before it happens, or what's going to happen. I love the little game of it. It is fun.
Yeah. As I think I mentioned before, like the logic kind of takes.
Oh yeah,
it's completely taken out of the picture. Like it seems like in the first one they try and talk about Death's plan and a pattern to things, whereas in the second and the third it's kind of throws it out the window, but kind of trying to explain it in a way. What I liked about the third one, obviously, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is probably the best lead out of the 3 films, I think. But it kind of introduced something else, where instead of having these premonitions and sort of visions, she's kind of got these photos and they kind of predict certain deaths. So that's quite fun. I think that's quite interesting, different sort of take on that.
Yeah, I liked. I think what's been your favorite death so far? We might have talked about this. I'm not too sure.
I think we mentioned the glass panel being dropped onto a guy and sort of folding him in half backwards.
He's like in the Finding Nemo dentist's office.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
even gets like a little fish in his
Little
mouth.
drops in his mouth. How old is this guy supposed to be? Because he acts like a bloody 5-year-old kid running off into the pigeons like that.
Yeah, I guess I got like 16 going on
Yeah,
5. Yeah, he's
deserves it.
a little kid. Yeah. Yes, it's a cool series. I'd be watching more of them. I'm going to watch 4 and 5. Because they're just easy to put on, and you can just stick them on and have fun.
I'm not actually 100% sure if I've seen 4 and 5. So
Which one's what's the big accident in 4? Do we know? I think it's the
no,
higher one. No, I don't know.
I think there's something to do with a train, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a Yeah. So number 4 is The Final Destination, and then The Final Destination 5 or Final Destination 5. So maybe go
Okay.
and check them out if
Yeah.
I feel like it.
We
But
had
I kind of,
a
sometimes you scratch the itch for a film, don't you? And then you kind of feel like, God, do I want to watch them all? Like, I really couldn't put myself through watching all the Saw films, for example.
no. I've been watching the first couple, and that's about it. I think, and I'm not too sure. It's been so long for these films.
Mm.
Have you ever watching Hostel again at some point as well? Seems we're sort of around that,
Yeah.
watching films around that era.
Hmm.
Yeah. What about you? Seen anything else?
Um, so the only other thing really I've been watching is South Korean zombie
Oh yeah.
period drama thriller action thing called Kingdom, which is based on like a webcomic manga series. But I kind of thought this was going to be good because I saw the trailer for it on Netflix. I was like, why have I not seen anything about this? I think I'd seen a couple of pieces of like artwork for it, but I'd not actually watched any trailers. I watched the trailer. I thought that looks really good. And I started watching it. I had no idea how good it was actually going to be. It is insanely good. It is kind of like you would say Game of Thrones because there's so many different characters and complex characters
Yeah.
on the backdrop of, so obviously medieval. Is it medieval? Sort of a few
Feudal.
hundred years ago. Yeah, that's right. Feudal Korea. But with zombies. And it's so unique in the way it kind of tries to explain the zombies, how the zombies affect different things that are happening in the world, and the fact that these zombies only come out at nighttime as well, which is a nice
How long is it?
interest.
Is it a long show?
Not too long at all. So there's 2 series currently, and they're both
Like a sales
and they're,
pitch.
well, no, because this is another reason that I've really enjoyed it is because it's been 6 episodes per season, and they're like 50 minutes long, which is very, very accessible
How
for
many?
me.
The more accessible, the better. Like the less time I have to spend watching something.
Yeah, yeah. So 2 series. I've not quite finished the second series yet, but
Yeah.
some of that it looks beautiful, and some of the action set pieces are like almost feel like Lord of the Rings level stuff going on. Whereas there's a couple of battles, you'd say battles, or where sieges where the zombies are sort of attacking certain places, and it really did remind me of Lord of the Rings, but on obviously a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
Really good, man. Like
I'll
and
check
really,
it out. It
really
sounds good.
gruesome.
Yeah.
Really gruesome as well, and it really doesn't take any prisoners. Like kids, they're dying. Kids are getting in the way of these zombies, dead. Kids are getting hit by arrows. It's brutal.
Okay. I like the sound of that. Speaking of brutal, we watched. We had another Facebook group horror movie night on Saturday, and we watched Dead Alive or Brain
Oh,
Dead,
nice.
which we watched a little while ago, maybe like a year ago or something. Now I don't know. For the
Mhm.
podcast, and yeah, it's like it's a perfect film to watch with a group of people. There's quite a few people who hadn't seen it before, so we got their first reactions. I think right near the start, the rat monkey bites his mum's arm, and then people were like, and she like
Yeah.
stomps his head and like pops his eyes out and stuff. And people in the chat were like, "What the fuck are we watching?" And it's like, it's not even got started yet. Just wait, because yeah, it's batshit insane. But it's so fun. It's yeah, it's one of my favorite horror movies. It's right up there,
Yeah.
like top
It's
5, I think.
you doing another one of these? This is in the Board of Advisors group. This is in the Hawk and Cleaver group, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'll post links in there when I can to for people to join. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've not got one planned this week, but I think the other guy, Josh, who organises it,
Is it?
he has.
Yeah. Is it fairly easy to sort of do a watch party and stuff in Facebook groups?
Yeah. You just as long as the video is on Facebook somewhere, so
Ah,
you
okay,
kind of have
okay.
to. see what's knocking around.
That's
But
it.
I'd like to do the Netflix thing as well at some point. But it's been difficult with people that are different
Time
different
zone.
countries, different time zones. So people got different content. It's not really matched up very well.
Yeah. Crazy.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Other than that, was
I
even
don't.
make.
I don't know if I watched anything else actually. Oh, I watched Return to Oz. So
I don't
this
think
has
I've ever
been
seen
like
that.
oh man, this has been like a semi-regular thing I've been kind of doing with my daughter, which is watching dark fantasy films from like the 70s and 80s, films just to see how far I can push her in terms of what's going to terrify her, in terms of what terrified me. We watched Legend a while ago, and she was like, "No, this is too much. I'm scared of this. Turn this off."
Oh,
We've seen things like Labyrinth, and obviously she's pretty all right with that. Return to Oz, like, is still super creepy. It's a really dark film, like with themes of like mental illness and escapism, and this is a really dark fantasy film with some really grim moments. There's like the Wheelers, these famous. I don't know if you remember the Wheelers. These
I
weird.
don't think I've seen it. No.
These weird like henchmen who have got like really long arms on wheels, and they go around, and then there's like a witch character who's got a collection of heads, and she changes the heads based on how she's feeling. Yeah, it's really quite terrifying. But
Okay, yeah.
yeah, holds up pretty well. Weird to think this it was a film aimed at kids in like the mid-80s, but yeah, Fairuza Balk plays Dorothy, like a tiny child.
Is she seen Willow?
Yeah, yeah, we watched Willow as well. Yeah,
Trying to think what
that's
else.
pretty. That's not too scary.
Yeah,
Lady Hawk, I think we've
yeah.
done. Master of the Universe.
Conan, is that? I mean, I guess that's an 18, I think, when it came out.
That was it.
So I think there's like orgies and stuff in it. So yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
not the right film.
she's 10 this week, so she's
So
getting to a point
orgies.
where she's watching orgies still off the
Okay,
off the
off the
menu.
table, off
But
the table, mate. Fucking
off the
hell.
bloody table. Get down. But we watched Fighting with My Family as well a couple
Oh
of
yeah,
days
yeah,
ago.
yeah,
And there's so many dick jokes in that film that like some just she doesn't question because obviously she doesn't understand, but others she gonna go, "What does that mean?"
yeah. You
So
have
I'm
to
gonna
tell
have
her.
to explain to her. Honestly, so I realized, but I realized when I watched it there were so many dick jokes in this. It's even worse when you're watching it with your daughter. You're just like, oh Jesus Christ, piss me off.
Yeah. Okay. We also watched something else, but we're not talking about that yet, right? We watched
No.
something, but okay. All right,
Yeah,
secret.
that's for a future crossover episode we're doing
Yeah.
with some good friends of ours.
Cool. Eden Lake. Both watched it last night. Both fresh and distraught, sort of mentally destroyed a little bit. Yeah, you got some information
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah, sure. So Eden Lake is a 2008 British horror film written and directed by James Watkins and starring Kelly Reilly, Michael Fassbender, and Jack O'Connell, amongst others. Refusing to let anything spoil their romantic weekend break, a young couple confront a gang of loutish youths with terrifyingly brutal consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it before then?
Yes. So I've seen this before, maybe just a once before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remembered it pretty well. So it obviously stuck with me from the first view.
Oh yeah, it's one of those endings that I've always is always stuck with me. But it struck me a bit weird this time. So I mean, it's basically some middle class to upper class Londoners go on a romantic getaway to the Midlands, and then you get assaulted by chavs. I don't know. It's for me. It's a bit like everyone in that town is
Yeah.
not a like it's like
Oh
a
man.
grotesquerie of
It really does kind of like demonize
yeah.
the working class in a way which is a bit
I think
it's a bit like ooh.
I
Like for
understand.
us, you can
Go on,
imagine
sorry.
it and you can understand because you understand that people like that exist. Obviously, this is a super extreme version, and
Yeah,
also like some of the characters are clearly psychopaths and have got some real issues which they kind of delve into a bit. But kind of if you were, I don't know, if you were middle class like the main characters in this, and you
yeah.
hadn't really come across this many situations in your life, it might give you a bit of a bad taste in your mouth when it comes to certain.
It definitely got my back up a bit this time. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm like living back here now. I guess so.
Yeah.
It made me kind of feel a bit like it. I don't want people to think that that's what like everyone from here is like. But at the same time, this is what horror movies do. You take what people are scared of, like whether that's like a realistic scare or like a nonsensical scare, and you sort of make a grotesquerie out of it, and you sort of
Yeah.
blow it up into sort of ridiculous proportions.
Well, it kind of takes a scenario where like everyone's kind of been in a similar scenario to this,
That's
where
why it's so tense. I've been in like
yeah,
situations with people like not as bad as this, obviously, but
yeah,
like when you're sort of on a like a standoff with like chavvy type
yeah,
people, it's fucking terrifying. Like this like film really got me in those sort of fight or flight responses ticking away.
yeah, and it definitely got me like infuriated to the point where I was just like, oh fucking hell,
Yeah,
or you kind of feel like what would you do in that certain situation? You think, well, I'd never get into that situation because, but then you think there's so many different events and turns like things that happen that you wouldn't expect that just make it snowball and snowball further and further into
yeah,
a scenario a scenario that either party can't walk away from, which is what's frustrating about it, because you kind of think just leave, just walk away, just go home, just get in your car and drive, and things just people keep making such bad decisions. Like there are a few times when Michael Fassbender's character makes a decision and I go, what on earth are you doing? What on earth are you doing? Get
yeah.
the fuck out of there right now.
That's where the tension comes from, though, isn't it? But you're right. Like it's like one of those natural snowballing escalations where things are just happening that are pushing the other party further and further into
And I
their
think
position. Yeah,
this was the film that kind of made me, like, I can understand an actor's good when you hate them so much that you never want to watch them in anything ever again. But
Jack O'Connell.
but Jack O'Connell.
Yeah,
So from watching him in this and then seeing him in Skins, where he plays like a bit of a dick as well,
yeah, Cook.
I officially can't cook. Yeah, so I officially can't watch him in anything now. So somebody told me about a
Yeah,
film called Starred Up, where plays like he's in prison or in some sort of institution. And I'm like, nah, I'm not interested if it's got him in it. And then he was in like a war film, which I think was directed by Angelina Jolie. And I was
yeah.
like,
There's like Hollywood,
oh,
big Hollywood stuff.
I was
Yeah, yeah,
like, oh, he's in it. Nah, I won't watch that. So obviously, like, I can appreciate that he's a good actor, but
yeah.
he's almost too good an actor because he's ruined my whole outlook on his career. I'm just like, nah, I don't want to watch any film with him, and I hate that guy.
I do feel like a couple of times. I mean, he's obviously quite young in this, but a couple of times, like his character borders on cartoonish. Like the amount of times he says "come on," or like he says like the same sort of couple of like words quite often, and I think, or he's like cackling, or he's doing something that's like that's not like he's not
A
a real
little bit,
person.
yeah. I think one of the scariest things, though, is sort of his influence on the rest of the gang, I guess, rather
Yeah,
than sort of some of the stuff he does, because a lot of them they're younger than him, but also the fact they've got a dog as well. And I know obviously we'll get into that as well, but
yeah,
when they first have a bit of a standoff, the fact that there's a dog there kind of changes the dynamic of everything as well. Because you're like, well, I can't
yeah,
get into a punch up with these guys because that dog will probably maul me to death. So, but yeah, it's
yeah.
a really intense film.
Um, James Watkins, the director, is from Nottingham, so
Oh
I
right.
wonder if he. I don't know. I wonder if he's sort of playing off what people's expectations are of
How did you
people from Nottingham.
when did it say that they went to the Midlands? Because I think maybe I missed that.
Well, so the first clue was that it's got uh, Jack O'Connell and Thomas Turgoose and all those people in it. But then there's like the
Yeah.
Midlands Construction Company. That's like
Okay.
like the where the quarry is that they go to. But yeah, I had
Yeah,
but
'cause
after seeing that Googled around, I couldn't see any. I think they just kind of made it all up. But yeah, it's definitely got like a Midlandsy vibe.
yeah. So just reading here, it says is it the film received mostly positive reviews. It was nominated for several sort of awards, like Empire Awards and stuff. But it's a group of roughly contemptuous films that deal with concerns over broken Britain and a fear of hoodies. So let's think about it. This was about 12 years ago. Was around about the time? Or was it earlier than? Do you remember when David Cameron was that Hug a Hoodie?
Oh
Do
yeah,
you remember that? Hug a
yeah,
Hoodie.
yeah.
so
All the
so there
Asbo
was like
stuff that's going on then.
with the Asbo stuff, Hug a Hoodie, and so I guess like a certain age of British teenager was kind of a bit given a bit of a bad move, and this film probably didn't help greatly. But
Well, did
it's
it? I feel
well, did
like
it, mate?
these films. I mean, they do paint people in that light, but are they just making it out to be ridiculous. Where it's like, of course, people
Yeah,
aren't
that's true.
like this. Your fears are unfounded. Like this isn't real. But I don't know. Yeah, it left me in a weird
I guess
place.
that I guess there is an element of truth to it, because obviously a lot of with knife crime and stuff that's still rife in not just London but other sort of major cities as well. I know, but obviously that's usually kids of this age, not necessarily terrorizing people a little bit older. But I guess
Yeah,
each individual situation counts for something different.
yeah. So who we
But
got? Kelly Reilly plays the woman in the couple that goes on holiday. She like if I think of what a sort of someone from London or from the south, down south, would look like she has that sort of English rose sort of quality to her.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
and
she's
this was
very, very kind. She's a very lovely teacher, school teacher or something.
mhm.
Quite
So
reasonable.
this was Michael Fassbender, and this was kind of before his Hollywood career got sort of took off, and he became one of the biggest names. So around about, I think he did this, and then was it Fish Tank? Have you seen that?
No,
Uh, that's a pretty good film with him in a sort of a coming of
in a
age
fish tank.
drama, British, in a fish tank. Yeah. So that was 2009. So 2008, 2009. That was when he was doing these um, British films and making a name for himself, I guess. So yeah, so this was pre-Magneto Fassbender.
Yeah, yeah, he's good. Michael Fassbender's always good. I mean, I don't like the person who he's playing in this film, but you know, sells
Yeah,
it.
but there were times when I kind of did feel a bit like he sold like his final moments in the film, I guess, pretty well. Where I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
thinking,
yeah,
Jesus Christ, I'm worried for this guy. And it is kind of heartbreaking, isn't it? It does get to a point where it does feel pretty heartbreaking. It starts off as kind of like this intense cat and mouse sort of game. But yeah, it does get pretty heartbreaking to a point, and then the final third, I think, is pretty damn grim. But
yeah,
I'm kind of glad it didn't turn into a revenge film as such, because I kind of wanted it to go a certain way, and then it just doesn't give you that. It felt a bit like The Descent in a way, where it's like, here's the ending, but it's completely hopeless.
yeah,
Everyone's
yeah,
screwed.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that ending, bloody hell. The cat like pops her head in like at the end, like the last 20 minutes
Yeah,
to see what was going on. And I said, be careful because it's pretty harrowing.
yeah,
But yeah, the endings are like really gruesome. Like not gruesome, but like the implications of it are just horrendous, really. In a good way for a horror movie. This is I do enjoy a good bleak ending. Who else got?
yeah.
Thomas Turgoose plays but there's like the whole group of the lads, the little chav lads and girl and dog. But Thomas Turgoose is sort of like the innocent one. He's a bit younger, doesn't want to be there. He gets sort
Mm.
of bullied into doing a lot of stuff. He just wants to go for a lie down most of the time
He just wants to go for a lie down.
and watch
Yeah,
Fox
and then
Kids
there's
or
like
something.
obviously, I just want to go now. I just want to go and play on my bloody PlayStation.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's obviously a group of kids. Jack O'Connell's obviously the leader of these youths, and then probably like what 5 or 6 of the others, and then there's a girl called Paige who's got like the sourest face I think I've ever
yeah,
seen on a human
yeah,
being. She's constantly looking like she's just licked piss off a nettle. Um, yeah,
yeah,
and then there's also the actor who plays Brett's dad, so Jack O'Connell's
yeah. Dad O'Connell.
Dad O'Connell. Do you recognize him at all?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
only noticed. I saw this on because he was on like a
Was he in
Sunday
adverts?
brunch.
Oh,
He does adverts, and he's also the voice of that like SAS program on do the SAS for a while. You bloody bunch of wimps. He does that
yeah,
voice. I don't
right,
remember
yeah,
what it's called, but
yeah. Uh, okay, so film starts with Jenny Greengrass, Kelly Reilly's character. She's in school. I think Michael Fassbender's character says, "I'm going to surprise you and take you to a quarry in
I'll take you
the
to
end
a
of the
bloody
hour."
flooded quarry. Yeah, she makes a point. She says something like her friend is getting taken to Paris this weekend.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend's taking me to a disused quarry, and he goes, "No, it's not a disused quarry. It's a flooded quarry. Get it right."
Is it a quarry? I mean, it doesn't look
Yeah, I
like a
don't
quarry
know.
to me.
Yeah, there wasn't much quarry like about it. It was just kind of just like a lake, wasn't it?
Yeah. So they drive off. We get lots of nice shots of them leaving London, the bustling city skyline of London, and they sort of arrive in the countryside. I think they stop off. Wait, no, where do they stop off first? They try and park up or something, and then some people steal the parking spot, immediately getting after the
Yeah, yeah.
wrong.
So initially, they go to like a pub, don't they?
Yeah,
So it's like a B&B, but it's full of riffraff. It's full of bloody common folk
eating
who
pork
have got
scratching.
no manners. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is where it starts off. Basically, every person they come across is in some way a psychopath. So first of all, someone steals their parking space with scant regard for the fact that they're indicating to go in. Obviously, that is horrible. But,
That is annoying when that happens. Yeah.
to get you back up. It basically shows all the stuff that's like proper annoying, like when someone steals a parking space, when you stood at the bar waiting to be served and you're basically getting ignored.
Yeah.
That's annoying. That happens. And then they're in the beer garden having a lovely pint, and some kids running around screaming. And I think Michael Fassbender said something like, "Someone should give one of those," and out of nowhere, the mum gives one of the kids a
The blood
slap.
knocks them out. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, instantly, like Jenny, especially, is like offended because she can't imagine hitting a child. She's a teacher. This is just a different world to her. I don't think she's happy about being there at all. Even the lager, I could tell just from the way she was holding it in the mouth, she wasn't happy. It's too gassy.
Foster's had to be.
What's the wine menu? Well, we've got red. We've got white.
We got red. We got white. Oh, really? What year is it? I bought it this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, so everyone's essentially like either violent or confrontational, or there's a lot of it is unsettling, and I guess that's obviously the vibe they're going for. But it made me annoyed. It made me like I'd be like, I'm going home.
Yeah. To be fair, I've been like when you go to like pubs like that in the middle of nowhere, I always feel a bit weird going in.
Yeah.
I never feel comfortable going into like a small local pub.
Because people turn around and go, "Who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Who's this guy? Never seen him before. Get out of it."
So they go. So they get to the quarry, and it isn't really a quarry. It's like a lake. There's like a little beach. It's like a little pond. And they camp out. What's the plan? They're going to camp in the middle of the quarry like that. I don't know. It seems weird to me.
Yeah.
Is that what people do? I guess
Well,
it'd be enough for a romantic.
These guys do. This is romantic. I guess that what they thought is it was going to be completely isolated. It was just going to be the two of them and nature, and that was pretty much it. That's kind of obviously what they thought.
Go to a
So what?
campsite then. Like I mean, don't go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this place.
You're not going to get terrorized by youths because there's probably security on a campsite.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Somewhere. So when they initially arrived, they meet this little kid who's like gathering insects. He's got some insects in like a jar. And initially, Jenny tries to speak to him, fraternal nature. Obviously, she said, "Did you cycle all the way here?" And he says, "Like, supposed to talk to strangers. You slag."
Yeah, I mean, he seems like the maybe like the one good guy that they meet over there because he's not quite, I don't know, maybe not quite right in the head. I'm not entirely sure if that's explicit or not, but he seems a bit strange.
I know what you mean.
As they're sort of snoozing on the little beach thing, group of kids turn up. They bully the other kid. They steal his little jar of bugs and they smash that up. And Michael Fassbender's like, "Well, boys will be boys."
Boys will be boys. You know what they say.
Yeah, but we've all been in a situation before where like the group of jabs turn up. They're very loud, super abrasive, and you know that they're going to start. Yeah, you know they're going to start some shit.
You go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And well, say something then. "Oh, yeah, it's pissing me off, don't it?" "Well, say something." "Oh, I don't know if I should say something." And then you say something, and you're like, "Fuck's sake!"
If this film was realistic, the woman would have said something, and then she would have got the man beaten up. Like she would have been the one to say something, and then Michael Fassbender like,
Shush,
no,
shush.
it's fine. Like play louder. I love this one.
But we've all been there in situations like that where sometimes you say something and it kind of goes all right, and they go, "Oh shit, sorry, mate, didn't mean to do that." But obviously, just as probably like 50-50, a lot of the time you're met with some sort of, I'm a bit of an idiot when it comes to stuff like this, where if someone pisses me off, I can't help but just go, "Shut the fuck up!" And then obviously some people go, "Oh, sorry," and other people go, "Who the fuck are you to tell me that?
Yeah,
Come here." And then we have an arm wrestle. Then we settle it
a
like
fun war.
men. And a fun war, followed by an arm wrestle, and then
Followed by a
rock paper scissors.
Grecian naked wrestle. Yeah.
Well, if it needs to go that far, Luke, then yeah.
Yeah. So this group of lads and lass and dog turn up. The dog's like I can't remember her name, Bonnie or something. She's like slobbering all over. What's her name?
Big Rottweiler.
Yeah, she's trying to sunbathe, pissing everywhere or something. Does a shit, I think, on the beach right next to them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the kids, they've got like, so if a dog was over terrorizing, well, not terrorizing, but just bothering somebody, as a dog owner, you kind of just go, you call them back. And that's what these kids just aren't really doing now, are they? They've kind of got no regard for anyone. That's why they're playing the music loud, having a drink, just being little pricks, basically.
Yeah. So what's his name goes for a little swim, and as he gets back, I don't know why he decides it. Oh, he goes to tell them about the music. It's too loud or something.
Yeah. So the music's too loud. So he goes over, sort of tries to tell them, turn the music down. And obviously the Brett, the mouth, the leader of the youths, can't hear you, mate. Can't hear you, mate. What? Can't hear you. And obviously then he turns it down.
Yeah.
And
we all know it. We all know it. We've all known a Brett in school. Like a guy like you probably is like a snake. Like you shouldn't go near him because you just know something bad's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they turn the music up, I think, and then Michael Fassbender just has to leave it.
Yeah. And then a little while later they decide to leave, and as they leave, doesn't that Brett like get his knob out and just
wangles it around. Swangs his knob around. Yeah.
Which is a sign of aggression. Michael Fassbender got up on his hind legs like that. And then they had but then they leave and you kind of think, okay, that's it. They've left. That's the end. They're gonna have the rest of the film is just gonna be a lovely romantic getaway.
Yeah.
But
wait, no. So they sleep out there. They have a bit of fun. Michael Fassbender, what's his name? Fassbender does like a bit of spooking in the night. Like he makes some noises from outside the tent, shoves his face in, doesn't look a bugger.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I was
I
don't muck about, mate. Don't muck about. It's serious.
Yeah.
I'd been fuming with him.
The morning after, I need to ask you about something Michael Fassbender does. It's a little bit later, but like he cuts to one bit and he's been scuba diving. And he's got like a giant like gas tank on his back. I think, where's he put?
Yeah.
Where does he think
that's like too much. If I was Jenny, sorry, just rearranging my legs. If I was Jenny, I would be like, backwards. If I was Jenny, I'd be like, mate, what are you playing at? We're supposed to be having a lovely getaway, and you've brought fucking gas tank out. Is that a sex thing? What's going on? You'd be freaked out, wouldn't you? What's a gas tank for? Oh, it's just to help you breathe. Creepy.
Yeah. Okay, but the morning after they've been camping, they go nip into the village. For about to eat, but like one of the tires has been slashed. It's got a knife in the side or something.
There's like a bottle, isn't there? I think they leave a bottle like directly behind or in front of the tire, and when he reverses over it, he's got to change the tire. He's fuming. I mean, I don't blame him. They go to like a real dirty, greasy spoon for breakfast, don't they?
Yeah, we've all been there.
Where where the only bread you can get is fried. You go, can I have a bit of toast, please? And they go, well, we don't do fried bread here. What, can I just have a bit of bread and butter then? No, it's got to be fried, mate. It's got to be fried. That's all you can have.
About the time we went to a greasy spoon like that, we were like, me and my friend Lee were like absolutely hungover from the night before. We kind of accidentally found it, wandered into it, and just had to eat something. We were like waft it down his neck holes. It's like more and more Midlandsy as we go through this. We waft it down his neck holes, and he was only like halfway through that my mate like choked, and he pulled out his hair, and his black hair came out of his throat. It was like an arm's length of hair came out of his throat, and we were like, let's just keep eating. I'm starving.
I remember, so I went to a Greasy Spoon like that in London, like really early in the morning. I think again I'd been drinking or something, and all I remember was that there was a guy in there like in a high vis jacket, so they'd been working all night or what, but he was eating a roast dinner, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and he was just like chowing into a roast dinner. And I thought, well, each to their own, mate.
Yeah.
Not sure I agree, but you know.
So there's a woman in this Greasy Spoon who even she's not like even she's like a horrible person. Like she gets like super defensive or something. Like I think Michael Fassbender says there's a kid who's done retiring.
Yeah, he was like, there's some kids on bikes going around there, and she kind of goes, "Are they not terrorizing you, are they?" And he goes, "Well, actually, they damaged my car or whatever." But she goes, "Not my kids." And he goes, "Well, I wasn't really saying they were your kids." And she was like, "Not mine." It was pretty aggressive to start with.
Yeah.
Not normal. And that's the thing, like the adults in this film who were related to the kids.
Maybe the
like
most unrealistic part of the film, the adults.
Yeah, because they're all almost like so in denial about, you know, oh, they're just children. They're just children. They could never do anything like that. I don't know what accent I'm doing there, Luke. Sorry.
That was good. Yeah. So, I mean, this is another stupid maneuver by Mr. Fassbender. They find the house where the kids are, and he like sneaks into the house. I don't know what he's planning to do. First he's scuba diving.
This was mad.
Then
so they drive. He's off his head. So they drive like obviously past a house and see some BMXs out there, and he automatically goes, "That's where those kids are," because obviously he would. But instead of like, because you knock on the door, I don't think there's any scenario where you just walk into somebody else's house. You know what I mean? That's mad.
Yeah, I think he sees himself as a bit of a Steve Irwin, like a bit of an Indiana Jonesy sort of type.
Yeah,
he's scuba diving. he's going on like romantic holiday weekends in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but he soon gets himself into some shit because he goes in and then for
Exactly.
some reason ends up going upstairs. Like goes like I think if you're gonna go into someone else's house, fair enough. As soon as you realize someone ain't there, you go, right, I'm leaving, getting the fuck out of here. The fact that he continues looking around and even goes upstairs
into the kid's bedroom,
like that's nonce behavior. You're automatically in nonce behavior territory. You can't get out of that. And obviously the dad comes home and he's a bit. Well, first of all, he tries to pull into his drive, doesn't he? And Jenny's in the car. And he goes, "Move out of the fucking way of my fucking drive, you bastard!"
Yeah. He's almost like at 10. It's going from 1 to 10 in like a millisecond.
Yeah, so she has to like.
He needs a shit though, probably.
Yeah, exactly. He's got some beers. He's got some Stella, some wife beaters, in his bag for any off license. There's like holes in the doors, like around the house. So obviously, initially, this paints the picture of domestic violence and a difficult household to have grown up in. Maybe that's why. So that's kind of one interesting part about this film is it does try to give a bit of dynamic to the characters, or essentially the antagonists. It tries to give them
a bit of humanity. I mean,
gives them a bit of humanity without really needing to smash us over the head with it. Forgive the pun.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, even still, Jack O'Connell's character, there's something not right about that guy.
Yeah, but sort of whenever he's around his dad, though, he's really quite sheepish.
Yeah,
which I guess again explains things even further. But yeah, so Michael Fassbender has to climb out of the kid's window, shimmy down the roof on his front like some sort of weird turtle.
We've all been there.
Yeah, and then jump out of the way. But this was pretty tense, wasn't it? Because you're like, oh, don't. What if they see him? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
it was a bit like that.
Yeah, super tense. Yeah, I thought they were going home at this point, but no, they're going to go back to the same bit of the quarry.
Yeah,
this is when he goes scuba diving.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I might just be like, mate, I've had enough. Like, honestly, I've had enough. Can we just Can we just go now?
Yeah. So when he gets back from scuba diving, he says, "Oh, I found something in the water." And he's got his engagement ring. 'Cause he's going to propose to her. This whole romantic weekend to a quarry in the middle of nowhere was an engagement thing. But she's like, "Where's the beach bag? I've lost me snacks and crisps and
Yeah.
popcorn and that."
I lost me
Um,
long pretzels.
yeah.
Straight pretzels.
So that's when they found that the car's been stolen. The keys of the wallet, his phone. I think
So
it's
what we're supposed to believe here is that one of the kids snuck back onto the beach while she was asleep and he was scuba diving
yeah,
and stole the bloody
yeah.
bag. Little shits.
That's what you get for scuba diving. What? Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
So
But you kind of feel this. You feel their frustration at this point, don't you? Like this is where I feel like, oh, for fuck's sake! Like he loses his nut, but all I kept thinking was how I would react, and I mean, I think it's pretty similar. Like, fuck! I think I just take off. I'll be so angry. I'd just be like, fuck.
yeah, I mean, I'd be like thinking about getting the police involved. Like, that'd be like the only thing in my mind. Sure,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
that's
small
true.
village, isn't it? I imagine it's a small village.
Yeah, small village. But yeah, I think what Steve's kind of got is he's got this sort of side to him, which is he wants to take ownership of various things and sort of right the wrongs himself and deal with
Yeah,
things himself. He kind of, I guess he sees himself. I mean, it's a bit naive in a way, in that he's like, "Hey guys, come on, I was young once. You know, we all like a bit of tomfoolery now and again, but this is too
yeah.
far."
I think if he sees himself, I mean, again, I don't know who I'm going to offend by saying this. Do you think he sees himself as like the cultured Londoner who's gonna go in and talk to the dumb locals?
Yeah,
And
definitely. There's definitely a bit of that, isn't there? And you know, I think it's maybe a class thing. Maybe it's there are
yeah,
definitely going to be people like that who feel like that. You know, I think
he
you
wants
kind
to
of
hug the hoodie. Well, he don't want to hug the hoodies, but
yeah.
yeah,
It reminds me of like when politicians, you know, when it's election time and they're going around to all various different areas in, you know, areas where it's a bit more poverty than others, or you know, like posing in a warehouse, posing in a warehouse, driving a forklift, or just doing stuff like that, where they're like, "I'm one of you guys, all right? Oh, I know I went to Eton and I had public school, you know, and it kind of comes across as a bit like that. It's a bit insincere, I guess.
yeah,
Not to the
yeah.
point where I feel like I want him stabbed to death, but you
No,
know."
no, and also like he's rightfully angry. They've stolen his car. He can't get home. Got his wallet and all that.
Oh yeah, they're all the kids in
This
this are
Odeon card. Yeah,
absolute little pricks. The kids to the
yeah,
point where I'm like, you little fucking shits. You deserve a clip round the ear roll.
yeah. So they get run over by the car. Like the kids suddenly lights
Yeah, so
goes that now.
they go walking for ages. Like it's proper like they're in the proper middle of nowhere now. They're walking for ages, just stomping around, trying to return to town. These are like the woods out of the Blair Witch, aren't they? Where they just seem
Yeah,
to just go on and on and on. And then yeah, suddenly out of nowhere, the car just comes over like a hill, nearly flattens them, and that Brett is just driving his car, wearing his sunglasses, doing donuts.
yeah. We
And it's
were
like,
we used to do something called Tree Fest, where once a year we did like camping in the woods around here, and we just like have a little fire and drink
mm,
and smoke and that. And then once we heard like a popping in the distance. We checked it out, and it was like a random car on fire in the middle of the woods. Like it must have been
yeah,
some joyriders must have just like dumped it there or something.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's weird. I imagine
So
that's what
weird.
these kids are going to do: have the fun and then trash it and set it on fire. Probably they had like all the
Yeah,
petrol and stuff ready to, like the gasoline ready for burning shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, pretty intense. So like nightfall comes, and they manage to find like the gang in the woods. Jenny like sort of stays back a bit, doesn't she? And Steve sort of goes and confronts them, demands like give the stuff back. Gets to a point now where he's like, right, just give my stuff back, my phone, my car, whatever, and then we'll leave, and that's the last you're gonna hear of it. Fuck it, you know what I
hmm
mean? But unfortunately, things just progress drastically. Someone pulls a knife, don't they? Is it one of the kids pulls a knife, like a little switchblade?
yeah, like a
And I think
grease
Jenny
switchblade. Yeah,
Yeah, and they get into a scuffle. I think Jenny tries to get the knife, and then obviously Brett and Steve are sort of scuffling as well. But then the dog Bonnie obviously gets let off its lead, leaps up into the carnage, gets bloody stabbed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I mean, he's like the dog's dying. Jack O'Connell's character is like really messed up about it. So
He
it's like,
says
go on, sorry.
one thing he says is "not you, not you."
I feel like that's his only
Yeah,
safe
that's right.
space in the
And
family
again,
in the world. Yeah,
we get a lot. I've learned a lot about him, even though he comes across as a little twat.
shite.
I've learned. I feel like we've learned a lot about him without really needing him to have much screen time. You know,
Yeah,
so I think
yeah.
that's in terms of him as a character. I think he's fleshed out nicely. So
Mhm.
we kind of we understand his motives while not agreeing with them, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
We know
yeah.
why. And I kind of thought as soon as the dog was died, I was like, oh shit, they're in for it now. I kind of thought that.
Yeah, that's like a tipped over the edge now. But Jack's like, just go on then, get away from me. He gives him the car keys, and they start scrambling to get into the car. But he instantly flips back to, no, actually, I think I want you to stay. So
Yeah,
this is when he's like, he gets a bit cartoonish when he's like, get him. Like he's a bit like a
he's a bit
cartoon
like
gang leader or something. Get
cartoon
him,
guy.
sick 'em,
Yep,
boys.
chicken bars, bring back here for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, there's like they're driving through the middle of the woods in the middle of the night. It's in a massive jeep.
yeah.
They're getting
So
bouncing at something.
because they throw stones, don't they, at the windscreen, and then it smashed the lights out. So obviously, by the time they're driving away, can't see shit. Steve crashes the car, but then he's trapped.
Yeah. Selflessly says, you get away. And 'cause he's stuck there, like he's got the tree like sticking into his arm.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's
time
almost
goes
like
by. Go on, sorry.
time goes by quite quickly. Yeah, I see what you mean. But I feel like someone would. What I felt would be more realistic if someone said, "Right, fucking hell, like this guy's gonna die unless we try and sort this out right now." No one sort of really does try and do that thing when they go. That feels like it might be a bit more realistic to kind of try and
Yeah.
talk them down. Maybe I don't
Because
know, but maybe
it goes over the edge here quite. I mean, it has
yeah,
to.
quite.
It's a horror movie, but like,
It does basically turn into a sort of a horror movie. Yeah. So before it was like a thriller, I guess. And now it automatically turned into a horror movie. You know, these kids just chasing after them, and they don't feel like kids anymore. They feel like genuine,
yeah,
life or death. This feels like a first death scenario.
yeah, yeah. Where does Jenny go? she
Um, she
she
kind
just
of just,
wanders around.
I think she just runs for help, doesn't she? She's trying to find help, but
Did you get lost? Is that the idea?
yeah, I think so. Blair Witch
Okay.
Woods, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, by the time she gets back, she gets to let her wander around. By the time she gets back, like it's gone to turn into a full horror movie. Steve's tied up with barbed wire. They're like stabbing him. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's a big scene. I see. Like we kind of get the impression that like Jack Brett's character is like not the ringleader, but he's like he's sort of forcing everyone into these positions where
Mm.
it's only going to get worse and worse, and they're going to have to kill him.
It's like forcing them into this pact where like he's like he can absolve himself of all responsibility, I guess, by saying, "Oh no, we were all in it together," or "or no, I was coerced into it."
Yeah, yeah,
He's got that sort of thing. So very, very manipulative. Um, yeah. So obviously they've got him tied up with barbed wire, and they're kind of like taking their turns stabbing him with like a Stanley knife. I think what's his name, Thomas Turgoose, puts the bloody Stanley knife in his mouth. He really didn't want to do it though, obviously, does he? So there's a couple of them.
that's
But they
pretty
get
grim. It's
paid.
grim. Yeah,
Yes, very grim. They get Paige to record some of the stuff on her phone, so obviously they got evidence of it, of them all being involved, filmed on a or like Motorola Razor or something.
yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. When are they gonna kill? Oh, she uses Bluetooth to pair to Steve's phone. And planning to like call
So
the police or something.
yeah, so obviously, is that because she's not got signal or
She's not
something
going
like
to
that?
signal on her phone. No, she's on E3.
Yeah. So she was watching. She's on EE. She was watching like the whole thing obviously unfold. She felt a little bit useless, I guess. But yeah, when she manages to connect it to Bluetooth, Brett sort of sees it happening, sees it ringing the police, cancels the call. But then he goes, "Hang on a minute, that's Bluetooth." I feel like, would you know that? Would you know it was Bluetooth? If I looked at my phone and it was connected to anything by Bluetooth, I'd be like, "What the fuck's going on here? What's going on here? Jesus."
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Even is that even a thing? Like you kind of piggyback off someone's
Yeah.
phone to use their?
I would never know how to do that.
No.
I really wouldn't. I thought initially maybe she was going to try and call the police and they would answer and then they just hear stuff. And maybe, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's kind of thought what she was trying to do initially, but maybe not. Yeah. So then
So
she can
but
open it.
there's the Jack's like, get him again. Like he says the same.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same thing again.
Yeah.
Fucking get him.
Get her. So they all chase after her again. That's when Fassbender manages to free himself. She goes and hides. Where did she go and hide? Like there's this random little, what would you call it? Like a little outbuilding, like on a building site.
Oh yeah, like a cabin, like an office cabin thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So she manages to like hide there. Obviously, Steve gets away, but he's pretty fudged at this moment, isn't he? Like he can't even move. And then when one of them realizes that he's gone, I think Brett says something like, "Oh, he's stabbed to fuck. He can't get very far. Follow the blood." I think you better fucking see what was going on. I'm not a bloody bloodhound, mate.
Yeah, I mean he is stabbed to fuck there. It's really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, he's stabbed to fuck.
So he goes to the car, goes get a first aid kit because of course he's got a first aid kit in the car. He's that kind of person.
100%, 100%. Yeah. Have you got a first aid kit in the car, Luke?
No, I don't think so. Have you? I've got a
No,
spare
no,
tire
me
though.
neither. Oh, yeah, me too. Got have one of them, haven't you? Can you change one? I probably can't, to be fair.
No, I saw a guy do it, and I was like, it doesn't look that hard.
Yeah,
But I mean, I
yeah,
don't know. I'd have to watch a YouTube video.
yeah. Sounds good to me.
So what happened?
So Jenny manages to meet up with Steve, and they go in this little sort of cabin, a shitty little cabin, isn't it? Like on a little pier. Where you could see a
Yeah,
pier, like a tiny little 3-foot pier. And she's sort of tending his wounds, and that's when you realize that, like, oh shit, these stab wounds are pretty fucking bad.
she says you've been stabbed to fuck, mate.
You've been stabbed to fuck, mate. Oh, I think she says at one point, it's worse than it looks worse than it is. And I thought
Yeah.
that would never make me feel good.
How is
If
she
someone said
know
that to me.
if something looks? You wouldn't be able to tell that.
No,
It looks bad, but I know what's going on inside your
so
body, and it's actually pretty
it's
good.
all right.
You're actually very
Yeah.
healthy. You wouldn't know that.
So she finds like obviously the engagement ring, and this bit is pretty heartbreaking
Yeah.
because it feels hopeless. You know that like both of them aren't going to get out of this. I mean, if they get out of it
Well,
alive,
there's a bit of a funny moment before this where one of the kids, because they're hiding under the pier, and he like the wood breaks under his foot, and so oh shit, they're
yeah,
going to find him, and then Jack O'Connell says, "You fat fuck."
you fat fucking bastard. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, then he gets heartbreaking, pretty sad. Yeah.
yeah, because when she's like underwater with him, obviously trying to keep his head above the water and trying to hide from the kids, and you're like, God, this is going to make it worse, and then there's going to be like all little bacteria and bugs crawling into his
Tadpoles.
tadpoles in his wounds. You don't
Yeah.
want that. So yeah, then she decides to leave him because obviously she's not going to be able to get far with him, and she covers him in loads of bushes, shrubbery,
Yeah.
and then runs off to get help. But yeah, this is pretty grim because she's running into like a clearing, and
Yeah,
then she
Jesus
just
Christ, yeah.
stands on like a horrible spike.
Rusty
What
looking
is it?
spike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some sort of construction thing. Who knows?
Who's left one of them out? She's
He goes
wearing like
right
little.
through. Yeah.
Because she's wearing like shitty little plimsolls. Do you call them plimsolls?
Yeah. What do you call it?
She's wearing shit. Well, plimsolls, I guess. Yeah. She's wearing shitty little plimsolls, and I'm like, fuck me, that looks horrific. And instead of pulling it out the way it went in, she has to like push it out all the way. So it essentially goes all the way through her foot, and it's pretty horrific. She's screaming. The gang like hear her. Yeah, pretty horrible.
Then she has to hide in the bin. She gets in like a stinky ass bin.
That's not yet.
Oh, is it not?
No. So
Oh,
what
okay.
happens next is she runs into the little kid who was finding
Yeah.
insects earlier, and she asks him for help or asks him to show her the way back to town. How long before you knew something was up here?
Well, I remembered from the last time I watched it.
Okay. Oh, nothing gets past you, mate.
I don't know. By the way, you're wearing a Stone Cold a Stone Austin Steve Cold t-shirt. Have you ever seen him? Like, I saw a picture of him. I saw a picture of him as like a younger man with hair. Have you seen him with hair?
Yeah, stunning Steve Austin. Blonde curtains, didn't he?
Yeah. It's like Nick Carter from Backstreet Boys if he
Yeah.
was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I think when he was signed for WWE, he had hair. So there we go.
Yeah. Okay, so this kid, he basically lures her back to back where she came from. He's like, no, my mum's going to meet us here.
And he texts the gang like their location. So initially he's using his phone. He just goes, "Oh, just games." I'd be like, "Give me that fucking phone now. I got to call the police." Even if I didn't have signal, I'd be trying to call the police. Would you not?
Yeah, sometimes it works, doesn't it? I think sometimes
it does work.
Yeah.
But yeah, then obviously they all turn up, and what does he say? "How now, brown cow," or something like that. As is like that's what Brett says.
Yeah, I don't know what that means or why he said it, but
no,
there you go.
I wasn't really sure. I was just, I would call him out. I'd say, "What's that fucking supposed to? Is that your fucking catchphrase?" Shit.
Shit, mate.
Yeah.
Shit. She gets knocked on the head.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up and she's tied up to Thingy. They found Steve, but he's dead by this point, I think, or she maybe doesn't know that, but he looks.
Not sure she knows he's dead, but like he's KO'd. He's pretty dead. They say obviously we're gonna find him. But yeah, then they pour petrol all over the two of them. They're tied up again, back to back. But then again, Brett like seems to always be forcing people to do his dirty work. He forces the little kid Adam to light the bonfire while Paige films it.
Yeah.
I guess again, just because he obviously knows they're not going to get away with this stuff. I guess he's hoping that this is like some sort of way of him.
Some sort of protection for him. Yeah.
Some sort of protection. But obviously halfway through, while they're sort of all screaming and shouting and whooping in delight, the fire actually burns the rope and Jenny's able to get up and escape. And then there's a weird bit now where Brett sort of goes, "If you don't come back, I'm going to burn this little kid." And I think, you'd think, yeah, good. I don't care. He to you.
Yeah, me. I think Cat's at this point. We said you keep on running. Like the kid just lured you to him. But I mean, like she still got that those maternal instincts. She doesn't want to like leave him. But like his scream is horrendous as well.
Yeah. So they like put a tire on him and then just like light him on fire.
We get a little image of his head burning like Ghost Rider style.
Yeah. But obviously, a lot of the gang now are kind of like they know that things have gone too far. A lot of them are kind of like crying or just like
throwing
up, and they're really not enjoying it. There's maybe a couple of them. There's like the girl doesn't seem too phased by much. She's kind of still filming things. She's still got the scowly face. And maybe like I guess Brett's second in command. Is his name Reese or something? The black kid.
He's like a straight up serial killer in the making, isn't he? Like he seems to enjoy all the
yeah.
So this is when Jenny runs away, gets in a bin, like a really stinky looking bin.
Wait, let me just find it. Yeah. She gets in a horrible stinking bin where it's just full of old brown slop, and for some reason it manages to cover her from head to toe. What's she doing? Rolling around?
Yeah, you got a good predator. because that Jack O'Connell's definitely got like heat vision, so she has to
Yeah.
cover herself in it.
yeah. Because she definitely comes out looking like something from The Descent, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Cover
yeah.
photo.
I bet The Descent influenced this film in some ways because the
Well, I think James Watkins was involved in maybe the second one. I think he wrote. Yeah, okay, here we go. He's the writer of The Descent Part 2.
okay,
So
yeah.
I'm not sure how he was involved in The Descent 1, but that was a year after this. Interesting. Okay.
So
So
okay, yeah, okay. So this is where Thomas Turgoos's character turns up, and she's like looking in the mirror. She's made like a knife out of a glass shard, and she's like gone. She's gone full survival mode.
mm,
She's lost her shit. But
yeah.
Tom Sturgis is like, obviously he's been like the nice guy mostly somewhat throughout the entire thing. I think he's maybe going to help her or he's going to apologize or something. But she,
Apologize. I'm really sorry. Can you forgive me? I know. Yep. We murdered your husband. Or sorry, we murdered your boyfriend. But come on.
yeah, but she turns around and shanks him with the glass in the neck.
Yeah.
And then she kind of holds him, cradles him whilst he sort of bleeds out, and she's like crying her eyes out and stuff. It's. I'm glad, like you said, I'm glad she didn't go full revenge mode. Like it seems way
Yeah.
more human, and it seems better that she would not lose that part of a character, that like idealistic side of her.
Yeah.
It seems like
Yeah.
a better way to go.
Yeah. That's true. So yeah, not long after that, they find. Wait, no, let me just work out where we are. So not long after that, they find his body, don't they? And Brett goes into further rage, and then he beats one of them to death, doesn't he? Beats one of the gang members to death, who kind of maybe confronts him a little bit, or says like, "This is too much. We've gone too far," and he just beats him to death, just smashes him to the ground and pummels him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's dead, but it seems that way.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like he's booting him in the face over and over again and stuff.
yeah. And then Jenny, around about this point, reaches a road where she like collapses in the road, and then she's picked up by a van. But the van is one of the gang members' brothers, right?
Yeah, he's like, uh, he's there to pick him up because they're late. They've been out too late, past
They've
the
been out for like
bedtime.
days. No one's tired. It's like they've been up for 3 days, but it's like, where are they? What are they doing in these woods? Just chilling
Yeah,
out. So yeah, obviously we realize pretty quick sharp that this is what's happening. He gets out the van to talk to the gang members. They kind of all come out, and Jenny panics, jumps into the driver's seat, reverses, and gets the fuck out of there.
yeah. Who could blame her? But then,
Yeah,
like she's lost a load of blood, or she's knackered. She hasn't
yeah.
eaten
Paige,
anything.
well, Paige
Oh
comes
yeah,
out of the woods as well and gets just absolutely mown down. That was probably the one moment where it's like, yes,
yeah. And then we come to like maybe the most harrowing bit of the film, where like she crashes into uh some in the village. She crashes into a parked car, and she like wanders into this like garden party. Would have like a big bubble bath or something. Got like a bouncy
yeah,
castle going
yeah.
on.
There's a fancy castle there. Yeah, yeah.
Karaoke machine. Someone's singing Amarillo. Someone's going garlic bread. Like they're all big Peter Kay fans, I think. I imagine.
Yeah, they got Little Britain on a big TV. They're all cracking up. They're loving it. Mrs. Brown's Boys is on after this.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So, but she's like, someone please help me. Instantly, they're really like supportive, and they're like, they put her on the sofa, get her a cup of tea. That's
Yeah,
what you do.
and a custard cream.
And a custard cream. Yeah, it seems like it's all going to be okay for her. They're treating her quite nicely. But then at some point, I don't know why. I think she sees the photo of Jack on the wall, or someone gets a phone call.
Yeah, so I think initially one of them gets a phone call, and they start obviously talking, and then I think she just hears one of them say one of the kids' names, I think, and then she sort of starts to put two and two together. Is that the worst luck possible? She's somehow back at Brett's house, where obviously it's weird that she didn't notice it from earlier, isn't it?
Well, I
It's
just kind of
weird.
just crashed into it outside.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
She's off her head. But yeah, obviously one of the parents is finding out that some of the kids are dead, She's obviously screaming, panicking, and then Jenny sort of realizes what's happened, says she's going to be sick,
Yeah.
and she goes into the bathroom. But then, as she's in the bathroom, everything is kind of kicking off outside. Brett's dad is screaming, telling her to come out, kicking the door in. And basically, they all believe pretty quickly that Jenny's responsible for the gang members being dead, which she is. But yeah, she doesn't know the full story. No one knows
Yeah.
the full story. And she does
Yeah.
say at one point, when they open the door, she does say, they started it. And one of the mums is crying, saying, they're just children. It's like,
Yeah.
she must know that they're not just children. She must know.
Yeah. And then she tries to like fight her way out with like a straight razor, but she doesn't get very far. And then all the adults are like, it's Brett's dad kind of does what Jack does to his friends, and says basically we have to
Yeah,
kill
that's
this
true.
person. And then all his friends are like, no, we don't. Like, just get the police involved. Like, you don't
Mm.
have to do this. But
Obviously, we understand that Brett's dad has like been inside as well, so there's a little bit of that attitude from him that comes across where he's like, well, I've been inside and I ain't doing, like, the police are fucking useless and we deal with things ourselves, and
yeah,
a little bit of that attitude, which is a bit shitty. But yeah, this is where for the first time I kind of feel like before the final shot, I feel like, is there a bit of remorse from Brett? He looks a little bit, when Jenny's screaming, he looks a little bit uneasy, doesn't he?
I don't know. I got like sociopathic vibes from him.
Yeah, but I
Like,
think there was maybe like there's a flicker. There was a little glimmer of something.
but then he puts on the sunglasses. Like
Yeah.
he deletes the videos as Jenny's screaming downstairs because I mean we don't know what's happening. I imagine they're drowning her, but who knows?
Yeah.
He deletes the videos, puts on the cool Ray-Ban sunglasses, and like kind of gives himself a bit of a smirk, maybe or maybe not. And he looks in the camera at us, the audience. He said, "I'm going to chav you
And then
next."
what song? I'm gonna chav you next. And what song starts? That Gary Glitter song that's in the Joker. Down, down, it doesn't really.
Yeah.
You can imagine it.
You're right. It's a very dissenting ending. That like you think the person's out, and it does like a 180 right at the end.
Yeah.
But okay, so here's some trivia for you. James Watkins, the director, also directed an episode of Black Mirror. Can you guess which episode it was? It's an English one. I'll tell you that. It was an English one.
Is it? Is it White Bear?
No,
Is
it
that
was
one?
Shut Up and Dance. White Bear's good.
Oh, Shut Up and Dance. Okay, I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. Also, number 2, James Watkins also wrote but did not direct the sequel to one of the horror movies in Empire Magazine's top 50 list. Here's a hint: there's lots of women in it.
The Descent Part 2.
Exactly. Yeah. Well done.
Yay.
Where we got that from? Jack O'Connell and Thomas Turgoose first made their names in what iconic English movie?
So I get This Is England, right?
Yeah.
Who is Jack O'Connell in that?
Pukey. He's only quite a small part. I think he even he sort of gives up on the whole. He gets cold feet. This is
Gives up on the old.
yeah, a little bit before Stephen Merchant. Or Stephen Merchant. What's the other one called? Stephen Graham? Is that his name?
Stephen Graham, yeah.
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 No, it's that guy. Okay,
Stephen Merchant. I'd love to see Stephen Merchant as a skinhead in This Is England.
Yeah. The tagline, there's not much trivia for this, but I couldn't find much. So the tagline for this movie is "A Weekend by the Lake with what to die for."
A Weekend by the Lake with company to die for, with A Weekend by the Lake with views to die for.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, although there isn't really, is there? I mean, that view of the lake wasn't that good. It was all right.
No.
So last question: what was the budget for this film?
Oh, interesting. I don't reckon it was much. $5 million?
$2 million apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. Correct sort of range. Yeah, well done. 5 out of 5. So I need to review the film.
Yeah.
need to rate it. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it's not. It's got some problems, but I think it's pretty effective. As a bearing in mind, this was the second time, maybe the third time I've seen this. I still felt like on the edge of my seat throughout it. As I said to you, I put it on quite late, but it really did kind of like. I don't think perk me up is the right word, but it kind of really did get. It really did get to me, and it it stirred a lot of emotions in me in a lot of different ways. I was pretty infuriated by it, frustrated, confused. There are loads of stuff going on. So I think it's a really effective film. It does get a bit paint by numbers. I think it drifts into the paint by numbers sort of territory, but it manages to like yank itself back out when it needs to. It doesn't fully go all the way there. So yeah, I'm still pretty impressed by this. So I'm going to go for a B.
Cool. Yeah. I think the same thing. It is a great movie. It's tight as a drum, you might say. Like it doesn't feel too flabby. It feels like super tense. You can't look away. It's grim. Like it's really gruesome. When it needs to be gruesome. The tension is palpable in this film. But I mean, there's a couple of bits like that knock me down about it. I do feel like there's like a cartoonish nature to the villagers and to Jack O'Connell's character to me. So I'm going with a B minus.
Okay.
For as B minus. As B minus.
As B minus.
Yeah.
As B minus. Nice.
As Bo Diddley. Yeah. So yeah, man, what are we doing next week?
So we discussed another film from 2008 that I think I've seen. So one of the reasons we decided to review Eden Lake was because Ryan Chisholm in the Horror Hangout Board of Advisors group watched it and said, "Has anybody seen this?" And it got a positive reaction, and I remembered liking it as well, so I decided to watch it. But another thing I've seen a lot of online recently, a lot of people saying they've watched it and it was really good, really effective, is Lake Mungo.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
This is a film I've not actually seen before. No, so it's like a mockumentary format about the death of somebody and potentially supernatural events. So
Is it found footage?
I think I'm not sure if it's found footage. I think it's like a mockumentary form.
Mockumentary.
That makes sense. Mockumentary. It's not fan footage, but it's a mockumentary.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, I'm up for Lake Mungo. There's also, if we ever do some more found footage films, have you ever watching The Taking of Deborah Logan? Have you ever seen that?
I've seen it.
You've not seen it?
No.
I seem to remember that being pretty good. It's good for watching that at some point as well. But yeah.
But
cool.
Yeah, Lake Mungo next week. Nice one.
I'm down for a week. So thanks for listening. If you become a patron over at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. Thanks to Kovacs Cameron for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. If you enjoyed the show, please consider giving us a rating and review in iTunes. And remember to hit subscribe. Pop over to the Facebook group, Horror Hangout Board of Advisors. Come and say hello. And thanks to my co-host, Ben.
Also, give us some recommendations for films to watch for future episodes, because I think that's going quite well when people give us some to watch. But thank you very much, Luke. It's been a pleasure.
Nice one. All right. Meeting adjourned. Zoom meeting.
All the best.
Wait.